Hello! So, this video is got clips from my first upper and lower sessions of week 4 of this first block. I might also chuck in a few of the clips from the event session I did at the end of week 3. So I didn't have time to record any commentary to accompany what was just going to be this upper session video. So I just thought I'd do a bit of a general voiceover for a change. Haven't done that for a while, and I thought it might, make things a bit more interesting visually as well. Yeah, still seeing very good progress back towards my previous baseline level of strength. So yeah, obviously 3 full weeks completed now, so I've got the rest of week 4 and 5 to keep building back up before I get to test whereabouts my bench, overhead press, squat and deadlift maxes are sitting at the start of week 6. So yeah, I'm feeling hopeful that my bench will fall somewhere around the 110 mark, maybe slightly higher. Bench feels like it's coming back quite well actually. I definitely feel like the 3 times a week frequency is helping a lot. Yeah, I think a 70 to 75 overhead press should be achievable. If I get more than that, then that'd be amazing. Yeah, I'd like to hit a 160 squat again by the end of this first block and have it not be a total grind. That might be slightly out of reach for this first block, but that's kind of a target. And I'd love to hit a 220 deadlift again, but that may be a smidge too much at this point. But it may be totally achievable. I don't know. We'll see soon anyway. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I thought I'd also just kind of maybe start showing the weight graphics on screen again. I kind of stopped doing that a while ago just because it's a bit less hassle when putting these together, but I figured it might be a bit more informative and it might make watching these a bit better. I know that when I watch other people's training videos, I find it better if I can just see at a glance what they're lifting, like numbers or whatever, rather than trying to squint at plates and do maths and stuff. Like, if it's just there, then it just makes the viewing experience a bit better, so I'll probably try and get into doing that regularly again. But yeah, the main thing I was thinking about the other day that I thought I'd touch on in this video is just how I'm constantly battling a feeling of imposter syndrome. So yeah, I kind of assume most people must feel the same way to some degree. But yeah, I feel it so often in terms of both like size and strength. I just find it really hard to believe that I might look or be bigger or stronger than a lot of people. I'm not saying that I am big or strong, of course. That's the whole the whole point of this talk is that I don't feel that. But yeah, like if anyone ever makes a comment about how they think I look, maybe like pretty big or jacked or strong or whatever, just those kind of typical comments or compliments you sometimes get, quite often from, like friends or family or just people you interact with, especially if they don't tend to lift. I just never really know how to feel in those situations. Like, I kind of almost feel a bit of embarrassment because whilst I always appreciate the comments, they make me feel really good, but I also just feel I just tend to feel really undeserving of them because, again, I don't see myself like that. I don't see myself as being big or strong or anything. I know I certainly am bigger and stronger than, perhaps a lot of people who don't train or, they're very inactive or stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about the way I view myself where I almost just can't believe it. Yeah, like, in my head, anything that I've done or, anything I've managed to achieve, either strength or size wise, I can just never really look at it as being impressive or worth pointing out. And that's because I've managed to do it. And so in my head, I'm like the most average person in the world. There is nothing remotely special about me. I'm really I'm not talented at anything, I wouldn't say. I'm a far cry from having any discernible talent or skills in anything. So yeah, it's just really weird because I can look at someone else and I can absolutely celebrate their achievements. Like, even if they're not lifting as much as me or they're not quite as big as me, if they're happy and they're proud of what they've managed to achieve and they're kind of like celebrating that, I love that, and I love getting behind people that are putting themselves out there and achieving their goals and trying to be better. Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. I really do. I'll be the first person to give someone a pat on the back. I love it. But yeah, when I apply that to myself, I almost don't feel anything because it just feels like, oh, okay, I've done this, so it's not particularly impressive because I've done it. I've managed to do it. Like in a lift, for instance, if I hit a new max on something, I don't really feel anything. Like, I'm kind of happy that I've done it, but as soon as I've done it, it's almost just like, okay, well, I've done it now, so what's the next target? What's the next thing that maybe, that is impressive to me? But inevitably, when I reach that, it's not impressive to me anymore because I've reached it. I don't know. It is probably not a very healthy mindset to have, but yeah, I don't think it's one that I can easily shed because it's kind of just so baked into who I am. Like, I really don't have very much confidence or self belief. Yeah, like I said before, I don't really think I'm very good at anything. So any achievement kind of ends up feeling almost like not that big a deal, or I'm almost coming up with excuses for why I managed to achieve it, Like I'm not worthy or something. Yeah, I don't know. It might be a bit of an over comparison of myself to others mixed in as well. That certainly is a is a thing I can fall victim to. But yeah, I don't know. I think I just need to try and work on that more. I do. I try not to be quite so self-critical. There comes a point where it almost becomes a bit self-destructive and a bit limiting. So I need to work on that for sure. But yeah, it just popped into my head the other day, and I was kind of mulling it over, and I felt like talking about it. That's kind of what these videos are for, just me to vent my thoughts, and I thought it might be something that others probably can relate to in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, I thought I'd just kind of put it out there. But yeah, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too boring. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.